Hey there, it's Pain coming to you once again. This video is my experience or my first holiday as a flight attendant. So Thanksgiving obviously starts the holidays. Thanksgiving I was in Miami. Yay! The hotel they had us in um, was right on the beach, so that wasn't bad at all. That was actually pretty awesome. We had fun. Thanksgiving wasn't that big for me. Thanksgiving wasn't that, in my company, I at the airport before we left or whatever, they had like dinner for us to pick, like Thanksgiving dinner to pick up for us. And I think it was like Boston Market or somebody who catered it or something. So, I got my little Thanksgiving, plate, my little fillings. And so, yeah, I mean it was cool. It was great. It was no big deal. Yeah. Thanksgiving was fine. I guess I can wrap this all up in one. My birthday was 12/12. I'm a December baby, and so is my mom. And that was a little hard for my mom because um, that was the first birthday. I'm her only child, and that was the first birthday I wasn't home um, with her. The first birthday she spent without me, and it wasn't because I was working. It was because I was in Punta Cana living it up with my homegirls. That was my choice. That wasn't because I was lying. But that was a little hard for my mom. And then her birthday is only like literally a few days before Christmas, and she thought I was working and I wasn't, and I surprised her. That was pretty cool. Yeah, that was really, really cool to be able to surprise her because she just knew I wasn't going to be home for her birthday, and she started crying. And anybody that knows my mom, shout out to Mom Dukes. Anybody that knows my mom knows she's like me times 10. Just dramatic. So that was fun. And then came Christmas. Christmas was hard. Christmas was really hard. I think it was so hard because I wasn't expecting it to be that hard. I mean, it hit me like a ton of bricks. I really, really wasn't expecting Christmas to be that hard. Crying, slinging snot. Oh my God, I was going to quit after that trip. It was hard. It was hard. And one of the reasons why is because my it's only me, my mom, and my grandmother that stays in my state, that my home. Um, and then 75% of my family lives in uh, California. That's where I'm originally from. And then the other 25% lives in London. So, it was really hard because here I am in Phoenix and I had a 25-hour layover for Christmas, and I'm only a few hours from 75% of my family. And then on the other end, like I was trying to work it where I had a layover in my city. So that way I was working, but I still had because normally on the holidays, um, from what I gather, my company at least, they only give you two legs or two trips, meaning you might go New York to Miami, Miami to New York, and that's considered one leg. One leg, Miami to New York is one leg. So you only get two legs on a major holiday. That way you're not spending your whole day flying. And they did that for Thanksgiving. Did that for Christmas. So I'm thinking that's a trend. And so, yeah, so they were, I was trying to get a leg or a layover in my city, and so I passed up a lot of good trips. A lot of good trips. I passed up Rio, I passed up Miami, I passed up Punta Cana, I passed up Puerto Rico. San Juan, Puerto Rico, I passed up a lot of good trips because I thought I just knew for sure that I could get a layover in my city and be home for Thanksgiving. Did not happen like that. So I kind of just set myself up for failure, to say the least. And I was at home. I mean, not home. I was in Phoenix by myself for Christmas, paying $10 for macaroni and cheese because nothing else is open but the restaurant. So that was really hard. Then New Year's, I had New Year's Eve off. And it's a tradition in my family that we spend New Year's Eve through New Year's Day into church. Some churches call it like the night watch service or something like that. Anyway, we just go to church on New Year's Eve into New Year's Day. The problem is we have to be in base by 12 o'clock midnight of our first duty day. My first duty day was New Year's. So I'm sitting in church looking at my watch. Okay, what time? My church is like literally 10 minutes away from the airport. Like literally from you driving out the parking lot to the airport is 10 minutes. So it wasn't that. It was like I was in fear of missing my flight. I was just always so worried about the time. I was half there, half not. I started being there and being focused on being able to be with my family, being with my congregation and everything. My church family, I was just so focused on, okay, what time is it? Okay, I got to leave in an hour. I got to leave in 30 minutes. I got to leave in 5 minutes. I was just so focused on that. It's almost like I didn't even have a holiday. So that was a bit hard and frustrating. It really was. It's because I didn't embrace the fact of me not being with my family on the holidays as much as my other colleagues did. One of my friends, really, really good flight attendant friends, she already kind of had this tradition of Christmas after Christmas with her family, but she had like a full Christmas. Like I think it was like the 28th or the 29th of December. She had like Christmas dinner, all the Christmas decorations, Christmas tree, opened all the presents. And I'm not just saying her and her husband opened presents. I mean her husband, her grandmother, her mother, her sisters, her nephews, her in-laws, everyone waited for that day to celebrate Christmas. And I really think that's a tradition I'm going to bring into my family, is because yeah, it's like, okay, great, the world revolves around me. It's not like that. You got to think of it this way, that everyone's on the same page. Everyone knows the schedule. Everyone knows what to expect. Because on Christmas, for me, I was getting calls left and right. Are you going to be able to make it home? Are you going to be able to make it home? Are you going to be, or where are you going? You know what I'm saying? Everyone was like at the edge of their seat trying to see if I could make it home, and it never happened. Rather than understanding the expectation that, what, she's not going to be home on this day. That's fine. I'm not saying that they couldn't celebrate it with other parts of their family. My mom, I have a stepdad who's, really like my dad, but, they have their family who obviously have children in that family and everything else, that they're not going to stop a Christmas for me. So, my mom and my dad could have very well spent the holidays with his family and then had our Christmas later. So it's not, I thought it would have been too much to ask, but in retrospect, it really wasn't, because then everyone's on the same page. Everyone knows that such and such a date, we're having Christmas. This is a date, we're having dinner. They don't have to fear that I'm going to be called on a trip. They don't have to fear that I'm not going to be able to make it home, or that I'm going to be stuck in the airport somewhere because of a snowstorm. None of that, because I'm off that day, and that day is designed for family and Christmas activities. There you go. So again, next year I would definitely incorporate that in my family. But it was hard, especially with my little girl, because I had bought so many gifts. Oh my God, the child had so much stuff. She just had stuff after stuff. And I bought most of the stuff here where I work in my base, and left here so she wouldn't find it. So I'm lugging through the airport all these gifts like in Target bags because I couldn't find a box big enough to bring all the gifts home. Jumping on the flight just to bring her gifts. And but I mean, at the end, as soon as I got off that trip, I came home. Me and my daughter had our own breakfast, Christmas breakfast, and we opened up our gifts together. And they were, I had a family that was fortunate enough to reserve some of her gifts for me to open with her, and I would be the only one that opened it with her. And so she had 2 Christmases instead of one. So that was a blessing. But yeah, my tips are you're not going to get the holidays off, and be prepared for it. Since you don't have the holidays off, pick an amazing trip. Go to Rio. Go somewhere exotic. Go somewhere awesome and make the best of it, because trying to rack your brain on trying to get home is just not worth it. And 3, make realistic expectations for the holidays. You're going to fly like crazy. You're going to be busy. And if you set realistic expectations for yourself, then you can set them for your family and everyone can be on the same page. Okay? Again, as always, any questions, any concerns, any tips for me, please put it down below. Thanks again for listening to my experiences. Yeah, that was really hard. Holidays were really hard. But anyway, thanks again, you guys. Light and love, and see you in the sky.